Happy World Book Day, everybody. It's Miss Smith here today, and hopefully you're going to find today's task really exciting and just something a little bit fun. So, over the past few years, we have read some really good, interesting books at school. And if you remember in year 3, we read the book Crindle Cracks. And if we think about some of the characters that was in there, there were some really interesting ones. There was obviously Ruskin, who was the main character, and he had really strange hair and things, didn't he? Then if you remember Elvis, he was that really big character who was a bit like the bully, wasn't he? You can see that in the picture. And obviously there was the really sweet old man Corky, who used to work in Ruskin's school, and they formed a really nice relationship. So it was the characters that made this book really, really interesting. If we look at another example of a book we've read, so we've got Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Now, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory has so many different characters. Obviously, we know Willy Wonka and Charlie Bucket are two of the main characters, but it's got a really unusual set of characters in the book that really make it interesting, which is the Oompa Loompas, which were totally made up, quite strange characters. So they really gave a hook to learning, so that we wanted to read more about them. And then recently this year we read George's Marvellous Medicine, and Roald Dahl had some really good fun with the characters in this book. There weren't many in it, but if you remember Grandma, who was quite a grumpy, wasn't she, character, and how after the potion she stretched and went taller than the house. That was really funny. Obviously George was George, and George's mum and dad. So in every book you read, there are lots of interesting characters. So that's what we're going to build on today, and think about all the different characters that we like from books we've read in the past. Now today I want us to have some fun. I'm not wanting us to write pages and pages of writing. It's about World Book Day and celebrating, enjoying reading. And I want you to think about any book that you've read in the past and try and think about your favourite character and think about why they're your favourite. Are they a bit strange looking? Do they do something really funny? Okay. Now publishers, people who publish books for us to be able to read and buy, they're always on the hunt for new material to create funny new books. And today our little task is going to be for you to create a really interesting new character. Not one you've seen before, absolutely brand new. And we're going to think about thinking if we was to publish a book, who our main character could be. And I want you to make it as funny as you possibly can. It can be a boy or a girl, but we need to think of a super funny background story about that character. So let's have a little look at some examples first. Now, the first job you're going to do is you're going to think about a character and draw it. So I've got just some silly ideas here. Yours could be absolutely anything you want. It could even be like a car with eyes that moved, whatever you wanted. So there's some different examples there. So first job, get a piece of paper, just get drawing and see what you create. You only need one character, okay? If you are super stuck, you could use one of my characters to help you, but then obviously you would change the writing to it. So once you've picked your character, all we're going to do then is write a paragraph about them, okay? So you might create a name for that character, you might tell us how old they are, and then just a little bit of a funny story, a background story about them. So I've done a couple for you to see. So imagine I've just drawn that character and I'm making up a totally random name. So I've called him Gareth Parrott. And all this completely made up. Gareth Parrott used to be in a band called the Okie Dokies, and he played the drums and was extremely talented. His voice was often compared to that of an angel. However, Mr. Parrott loved eating chips, burgers and hot dogs. He just couldn't get enough. He just couldn't stop eating. So he was thrown out of the band, and now he works in McDonald's instead. Just absolutely made up, a little bit of a funny story, telling me a bit of a paragraph about that character. Let's see another one. So again, just a really random character. I've thought of a name on the spot, and I think I want to call her Daisy Skywalker because she's so tall. A little paragraph about her. This is Daisy Skywalker. Her name is pretty funny considering she's remarkably taller than all of her family. She can literally almost walk in the sky. Daisy comes from an extremely large family. She's one of 8 children, and she spends her days working in Disney World. Her job is to play the maracas to brighten up everyone's day. Really basic. I've said her name. I've said something funny about how she looks. I've said a little bit about her background. She comes from a big family. And then I've said what she does now. She works in Disneyland. And then I obviously looked at the pictures. She plays the maracas. You could have something like that. Perhaps your character could play the maracas too. Just change it however you want. And then one more example. This is just a little girl. Just drawn whatever I wanted. I've picked up a random name. I've called her Zoe McSpeed. Okay, let's listen to her background story. So Zoe McSpeed is a clever girl indeed. She's absolutely obsessed with space. When she was just 9, she came up with a grand design, which would help her to achieve her dreams. She made herself a costume and attached some pieces of string. She discovered that she could fly. She now works for NASA and floats around space all the time. Okay? Be as silly as you want. That is absolutely fine. Just want you to have fun with this today. Okay? So, things to think about when you're just about to start this task in a moment. You're going to think of a character and draw it. Make it as daft as you want. Then choose a name for your character. Then think of something funny that they have done. So thinking back to Gareth when he got in trouble for constantly eating. We know Zoe likes space. We know that Daisy likes to work in Disney World. Think about, did they get into trouble for something? Did something happen to them? What are they doing now? So all I want is a little paragraph to explain who your character is and why you think they're so funny. Imagine trying to sell it to a publisher. Why should they pick your character? Try and use some adjectives in there, okay? Some expanding noun phrases. Make it as interesting and as unusual as you can. Make your character really unique, okay? So it's the same challenge for everybody today. Just have fun with it. Hope you have a good time. See you later, Year 4. Bye-bye.